welcome back to the Scenic Route Astrology. My name is Makayla, and today we're talking about the Taurus archetype, Venus in Taurus, the second house, and a second house profected year. Before we dive into this video, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. It really helps send my energy out into the world so more people can receive these messages if they need to. And please feel free to share this with any friends or on any social media that you have. Let's get into it. A perfected year is a predictive technique that I use with my clients when I'm forecasting the year ahead and the type of flavor that their year is going to have. The perfected year depends on what age you are in, and the reoccurring themes throughout that year will be highlighted in this house overall. You're going to have a perfected year at the age of 1, 13, 25, 37, 49, and 61. Taurus overall is a fixed and yin energy. It is an energy that wants to stay put in its place and really settle into the comforts of life and what brings it safety and security. The yin archetype of this means that it's not action oriented so much as it looks within, and it's more feminine and receiving energy instead of being yang and being forceful and putting it out like the sign before it, Aries. Okay, Aries comes out to the zodiac and it's like, I'm here, I am born, look at me, oh my god, go 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 go. And then we get to Taurus. And the natural zodiac, Taurus, is the next that falls in line. And Taurus is like, hold on, let's chill. Let's dig our Taurus hoofs into the ground and just hang out for a little while. Like, does anybody have a glass of wine? I just want to kind of sit here and hang out and just not do anything for a little bit. Those are strong Taurus placements, might get into farming. They might get into agriculture. They might get into like really hands-on type of work or banking, anything to do with money. They might be really big into real estate. They might want to build things with their hands or become an artist or a painter or, make sculptures or have just maybe an affinity for hobbies around those dynamics. They might really want to work with the land. They could be a really good chef. They could even be a doctor because they're deeply connected to the body. I could imagine strong Taurus placements being like a very holistic oriented doctor or a massage therapist or an acupuncture, those type of qualities. They're very practical and the down to earth sign. They tend to be pretty decisive. In my experience, I've had a Taurus friend and we used to go on a lot of trips together as a pilot friend, and he was usually late because he just takes his time, and that's okay. It's fine. It was who he was. Or we would go to the grocery store and it would be perhaps like 30 minutes picking out the correct cheese at the grocery store and pairing it with the nice wine and the better bread and the right oil and all that. And it's just because the Taurus archetype appreciates food, it appreciates the comforts in life, it totally wants to chill and relax and kick its feet back. A pretty faithful sign as well. Time will be the test with the Taurus archetype. I think it's usually in for something for the long haul, but sometimes it can be really stubborn as well. It doesn't want to budge or move. Yeah. Overall, I think with these themes, when you're working with these energies in your chart, it's really about experiencing a richness in your self-developed appreciation for your own worth, okay, your personal worth, the assets that you've earned, your material gain, but having a balance between material gain and spirituality. All right, Taurus archetype is always heavily focused on money and abundance and being able to keep the assets that it has and possessions and hold on to them. Okay, it doesn't like to let go of its stuff. It makes it very uncomfortable if it has to let go of its stuff. And if you haven't checked out the video I did on the energetic upgrade where I covered the Scorpio archetype, it's very important that you listen to this video and that one to synthesize both energies. They are on the same axis, which means that they are the polarity points of each other. And in order to balance each energy out, you need to integrate the other one, and you meet in the middle. Okay. So definitely check out the Scorpio energy upgrade video, because it's going to tell you about the polarity point and the deal with attachments and having to let go of attachments in life. This is also really important for us to understand the Taurus and Scorpio archetype right now, since we're going to be having a nodal shift coming up for 2022, where the nodes of the moon will overall provide a backdrop of the energy and experiences that we're going to have on our individual life level and also as a collective level. And these energies are extremely triggering for us, okay, because they have to do with our material needs, our sense of security, our possessions, our homes, our food, the body, our resources. Okay. And when we have the polarity point of Scorpio, where the South Node will be transiting, it's about letting go of those attachments that we gain with the Taurus archetype. The better that you understand the side of Venus that's Taurian, the overall, you'll be able to paint a picture in your chart. Okay. Even if you don't have Taurus on the cusp of your second house in your natal chart, you still want to apply some of these Taurus values and structures to that second house. Okay. If it's like Gemini in the second house, you might have like a more lighthearted, intellectual, curious type of flavor on top of the energy that I'm going to be describing with Taurus. And then wherever you have Taurus on the cusp of your house, you're going to take the energy that we talk about in this video and you're going to apply it to that house. You're also going to want to apply that Taurus energy to the planet that is colored by Taurus, if you have a planet in the Taurus realm. For me, I have no planets in Taurus. I am a Venus ruled gal. I am a Libra rising, so I am more of the communicative side of the Venus, but Taurus does rule part of my 7th and 8th house. So I feel this energy very deeply, and it doesn't matter if you have planets or not. You're always going to feel all of the archetypes in some way in your chart, especially next year when we have the North Node transiting through Taurus, where we're going to want to actually learn the energy and qualities that I speak about in this video. We're going to want to deeply ruminate on these dynamics that can show up, because I find that we're going to be challenged as society, in a world, and in our personal lives around these dynamics, where we need to grow into them deeper than we already have. We might experience loss, betrayal, abandonment kind of issues, the parting of way with certain things that we find of value with the Scorpio South Node. Especially if you are in the Scorpio Pluto generation, you might be getting this transit even heavier, because it would be transiting over your natal Pluto. Okay, where we're going to really want to reach out into those Taurus qualities, understand the polarity point of each of these and how to integrate it into our life. Okay, so we can thrive. Taurus really wants to thrive. So if we want to begin to understand Taurus, we might want to think about Venus, its ruler. Okay. And remember that Venus is ruled by both Libra and Taurus. So it can take up two different types of energy, but they are similar in many ways as well. The Venus archetype as a planet has to do with the way that we relate to ourselves, Taurus, and then the way that we relate to others, Libra. And it's a self-attunement and a reliance that we gain with the Taurus archetype, where we really understand what our own personal values are. And that understanding of your own self-worth, what is important to you, what matters, what doesn't, what can stay and what can leave, that really governs how you assert yourself in your relationship dynamics with others, whether that be in your work life, in your family dynamics, in your personal relationships. The way that you value yourself and the way that you are able to take care of yourself and accumulate your own self-reliance or self-sustainability is really important when understanding the Taurus archetype and a part of Venus. Questions you want to might ask is, are you resourceful? Are you able to provide your own stability, safety, and security? And if so, how is that affecting, or if you're not, how is that affecting the relationships that you're attracting into your life and the type of dynamics that you are experiencing? Your inner reality and your inner sense of energy and your ability to nurture, take care of yourself is going to reflect outward in the outside world. Okay, when we feel good about ourselves, when we feel like we have a sense of value and stability to bring to the table, we don't let other things in our life shake us as much as when we're more fragile, maybe in our younger years, as we're learning to self-develop, our own appreciation for our own worth. You really want to think about if you are attracting things in your life that resemble how you're feeling inwardly. Are they matching the qualities that you have developed within yourself? Venus does rule arts and beauty and culture, love. It's definitely the things that we are attracted to, the things that we would spend money on. Okay. With the polarity point of Scorpio, we might experience Scorpio energy pushing us to our boundaries at times with these dynamics, asking us to really look at these attachments and what is really of value to us, and pushing it so far that sometimes we lose them so we can reevaluate the value of the actual thing. Important part of a Venus and Taurus, or the Taurus archetype, or having a second house transit or experience, is to understand that yes, you can have your own resources and know your own boundaries, but be resourceful enough where you feel like you have enough abundance that you are able to share. You are able to give to others, okay? Because the reality is that the more that you are selfish with your own resources, the more people you cut out in your life, and you're actually less resourceful than you could be. When you're more giving and freeing and you feel stable and secure with the foundation that you have laid in your life and who you are and how you show up as, you can make connections with other people so that it actually adds to your abundance, right? And that's, again, reaching to the Scorpio in a positive way and knowing that you can share, not being afraid to form a union with somebody else, maybe a business partnership with somebody else, or sharing, your food with somebody else, okay? There, you raise the abundance level when you get out of the possessive mindset that can sometimes be with a Taurus archetype, just maybe more on the shadow side. I'm not saying every Taurus planet acts like this, but sometimes people with the strong Taurus placements can be like, that is mine, I don't want to let it go, and somebody else could use it, and in doing that, you share the wealth, you share the resources, and you learn to have more collaborations with other people so that you have more abundance coming in, more energy coming in. I really like to talk to people about money with my clients and stuff, and my friends who struggle sometimes with finances, because I think we lost somewhere along the way for a little while in society that money is so abundant, and it really is, and it's energy, and it's how you can attract it. And I know that it can be more difficult than it sounds like that I'm speaking about right now, but hear me out. I go to the same coffee shop every single day, and I tip my baristas $1, right? Every single day. And then coffee is expensive now, right? But I'm never like not going to tip them, right? Because I used to be a barista when I was in high school growing up, right? And I would be like, I love the dollar tippers. And I was like, oh, that person left me $1 on their coffee, because that stuff adds up. Imagine every single person going into this coffee shop, right, tipping $1, how much more money these people could make on their hourly shift, because it does add up. I mean, I know I worked in a coffee shop, and this one is particularly busy. And it's just like an exchange of wealth. And they love me like I love them. Like, I come in, I literally walk into the coffee shop and there will be 50 people, and they will come right up to me and give me my coffee. Here you go, Makayla. And I'm like, oh my God, like, you're amazing. You don't have to do this, right? But it's like, it's just an energy exchange. It's the same thing when I go out to eat. I over tip, because you're just giving out. Like, you're giving out, you're paying, you're helping pay for somebody else that might have a kid at home that really needs to provide for them, that kid might go to college one day, and they had a good life because their parents could, give them what they needed. And so, they had a good life. Now they can go to school. Now they become a doctor, and then all of a sudden they're the one that's doing surgery on your kid one day when they needed like life-saving surgery. You never know how this energy is going to show up. Money is literally just energy flow. So if we can block our mindsets of scarcity and that there's not enough, and realize that there is so much to go around, I think we can start to break down, the poverty dynamic going on. But I'm getting off track, so we're going to get back on. Another thing with the Taurus archetype is that you can become very comfortable in your space, and you can not want to move or budge, because you're just like, everything works. I don't have to grow anymore. I'm just comfortable. I'm going to stay where I'm at. I'm going to stay stagnant. And oftentimes the universe will start to edge you out with that Scorpio polarity point, or certain transits come up, a Pluto, Uranus transit come up, which we have transiting Uranus still for a few more years in Taurus, shaking things up around our comforts and our values, right? So because it wants us to emotionally develop, it wants us to explore a little more, it wants us to grow and expand on these areas of our life. It's okay to be comfortable, but like, sometimes other people are in a survival mode, and if we're not helping and sharing or whatever, that becomes quite selfish, right? And it isolates us by not helping them, when we could have just reached out and helped them, and again, expanded our resources, expanded our connection. Because the Taurus is more than money and wealth and finances. It's really self-sustainability, it's self-assurance, it's the ability to trust in yourself, and that you can survive on your own, and you can do whatever it takes to make sure that you maintain your comforts at your level. But it really wants you to look at what the meaning of that is. Like, what is really of value to you? And so I guess we'll get into the second house dynamic, because this is going to help you understand the Taurus archetype more, is learning about the second house. Now, when I talk about these things in these videos, there's a lot of similarities, but there is a lot of differences too, okay? The Taurus archetype is similar but different to the second house. The second house will be where these things show up, where these kind of dynamics can show up, and you could have a different sign on the house cusp of it, right? So it could just feel different. It could take up that Gemini archetype, or that, you could have the reversal, the Scorpio archetype, like I do. What you want to start thinking about is really, what is of worth to me with the second house or a second house year. These themes are going to be highlighted, where you need to understand how, like, your personal needs help you understand like how to connect to your essential needs. I'll give you an example, because I like to share who I am. If you're following on my channel, I think you should really get to know me as a person and my personality. So, and I like to talk about my personal experiences, so to better understand what other people might be going through. When I was 25, I entered my second house year unknowingly at the time, because I didn't know astrology then. But I was heavily focused on my work in the world and the money that I was earning, or should I say wasn't earning at the time. So what was of important to me was the ability to provide for myself, to have my own home, to pay my bills on time. I was very basic with my needs, and those were my essential values of my for my comfort, And I started to think about what type of energy exchange I was putting into my work, and if it was worth my time, right? How could I utilize my time better to get where I wanted to go, get the comforts that I wanted to have, okay, but also the exchange of time, right? This is another great thing to pick up is we'll often be really heavily thinking about time and energy exchange during that second house year, just like we'll be thinking about power dynamic exchange in the eighth house, because they're polar opposite, right? So we'll probably work on our second house themes for a while, and then we'll go to the third house, the fourth house, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then we hit the eighth house some years later, and we're like, oh, okay, where are the power dynamics showing up now? Is this worth it? What kind of exchanges of energy are happening for the good or bad? And do I have to let go of some attachments that I gained in the second house, or can I keep them? You really want to be working on your foundation in the second house, standing on firm ground. And sometimes you might go through trial and error or conflict in this year because, you might have to walk away from disempowered situations, jobs that aren't giving you the reward that you want anymore, or overextending yourself and your possessions to people that are taking advantage of you as well. That would be pulling in that eighth house dynamic, but you could experience that through this second house year where you're reevaluating the ability to increase your own comfort. You definitely want to increase in this year, but sometimes we decrease too. You might have to be on your own more in this year as you build yourself up, as you build this inner stability up. Taurus is really strong, okay? It's the bull. It doesn't move. You could try to push a bull. That thing probably weighs over a ton. It is so firm and stable and structured in its place, okay? It's not moving unless it wants to. That's how we build a foundation. So sturdy, so strong. We come out in the Aries archetype, we're ready to go. We got an idea, we got a spark of life, we're taking off with it, and then we build on it in the Taurus archetype. We create that footing in the ground. We plant the seed, we put the roots deep down into the earth so this magnificent tree can grow. You're also going to be thinking about in the second house with the second house transits, or a second house year, or Venus and Taurus. You're going to be thinking a lot about your inner happiness. And is that in balance? Okay. And is that imbalance with your material wealth and the possessions that you have? And, do you need to uphold something that's entirely stressful for you to, maintain, getting a new designer bag, every week or so, if that's a thing, which I feel like that's not a thing anymore for people. I feel like we're kind of going away from that. No, but really, like, items can be replaced, people and experiences cannot. Okay. So what really gives you inner happiness and are the things that are going on in your life, the work that you're doing, the connections that you have, the house that you have, the car that you have, are those giving you inner happiness? Truly, you want to ask yourself this. And the challenge that you might have to overcome with the second house transit, second house year, Taurus archetype is a balancing act between your inner happiness and your own spiritual growth, because it goes deeper than money. It's really about your self-worth and your value around yourself, what you're willing to do for your own personal comforts. What comforts do you really need? And being able to be self-reliant on yourself and sustain those. There's nothing wrong with wanting to go after money. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a millionaire, going to the top. We are in different evolutionary states of growth, in our lifetimes, you know, and they're actually broken down into 4 different types, which you can find on the Pluto School of Evolutionary Astrology, which I'll probably make a video about it actually at one point, you know. But some people are here to, you know, get on the material train and become the next CEO of the top company, or, you know, like, and some of us just want to have like time and space to meditate and go on a coffee ride with our dogs every day, like me. You know, and just like be more relaxed and chill with that kind of comfort. You know, everyone has their own needs for comfort and like growth, and that's okay. That's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong. This archetype is just deeply asking you to evolve towards your own self-worth and value. You know, this type of energy will really be around your personal and psychological worth. You know, it'll be what you seek, what you receive, what you earn in life, is concerned with the many shades and dynamics around the benefit of material gain. Okay, is it a benefit to you or is it not a benefit to you? So I hope this video was helpful for you to deeper understand the Taurus archetype, the second house, Venus in a second house perfected year. As the nodes do shift into Scorpio, the south node in Scorpio and the north node in Taurus, I see humanity as a whole being asked to really reevaluate their own self-worth, the value that they put on money, you know, the value that they put on things, what's really of importance for people. I see a lot of letting go of attachments going on, whatever that may be for you. It's always really dependent on your own personal natal chart. So I don't want you to like start running off and thinking, oh my God, I'm going to lose my house, you know, or I'm going to lose my parent, or I'm going to lose. It doesn't mean that. It really doesn't mean that. This can show up in so many different ways. You know, you want to just start really thinking about your inner self-sustainability, your inner worth, your inner value, how you look at yourself. If you're able to walk away from disempowered situations, what kind of identity do you have that's connected to your resources? Is there a connection between your identity and your resources? Do you place yourself connected on those? Okay, I see that the collective is going to go towards a new renewal of this archetype. Okay, we're going to be asked to trust in ourselves more and we're going to be asked to be willing to share more, because, you know, sometimes when people lose things and then they gain them again, they might be scared to share, right? Because they don't want to lose it again, right? And with the fixity of the Taurus archetype, yeah, and Scorpio is fixed too. It can be fixed on its attachments, and Taurus can be fixed on its possessions, okay? And sometimes we have to break free of that fixity. We have to release and let go. You know, that's why there's 3 modalities. It's the cardinal, the fixed, and the mutable. Because after cardinal, we take off with Aries, then we become fixed in the Taurus, but then we have to be interchangeable and mutable with the next archetype, Gemini. And this repeats again throughout the entire zodiac, okay? Cardinal, fixed, mutable. We need all of the energy. We have all of the energy within us, within our chart, okay? So we're able to be flexible, even for the really fixed people who have tons of fixed energy in their chart. I have no mutable in my chart. I have no mutable in my chart, but I can still let go, okay? So don't be afraid to be on your own and to make your own choices and sit in your own worth and value, even if that is different from somebody else. Okay, this is where you can really dig your feet into the ground and be solid with who you are. This is when you can work on more root chakra stuff. Okay, and having an inner knowing and an inner trust is really going to help you succeed and excel in every area of your life. I really appreciate you taking the time and energy to be here. Please hit like and subscribe. Liking my video really helps boost up and reach it to other people who might need to receive this message. Please share it on your social media or with friends that you feel like this would resonate with, or you want to start getting into astrology or spreading information. This was it would really help me grow my channel. I plan on going through all 12 zodiac signs so that you can understand how to synthesize the entire natal natal chart and synthesize the accesses, okay, and the natural zodiac. It's very important when you start to understand all the 12 archetypes and learning more about yourself and the transits that show up in your life and being able to digest this information and kind of pinpoint and see what's going on and, live with the ever changing energy and help yourself evolve and grow. You can always book a reading with me. You can book it off my website at www.astroroots.com. Definitely find my Instagram. It's at the Scenic Root Astrology. And just remember, you have unlimited potential, my cosmic warriors.